Hi, Danny.
Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all at the same time.
Oh, it's good morning, Matthew.
Okay.
It's good morning because it's been good morning now for a day. I've been
Chasing.
in Monday morning for a day. I landed this morning from Sydney. Spent a week in Sydney. Tell you all about it, but let's start here. Um, I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. Sydney time. Got to the airport for a 9:50 uh flight. Flew for 13 and a half hours and landed at 6 a.m. Monday morning.
You stayed awake the whole time?
I slept for like an hour or
Mhm.
two, but not really. I just watched 1,000 movies and
You can
TV
watch
shows.
so many movies.
Oh my God. I
It feels
watched,
like an afternoon of like TNT movie marathon. It's like
yes.
that's gone now, but on long international flights, you're like, I'm gonna watch four movies. Three of them are gonna star Tom Cruise.
Yep.
None of them are new. I'm gonna watch old movie.
I watched a couple new.
Oh, did you? Which
I
ones?
watched a couple new. I watched Anaconda,
Mm-hmm.
the new
I saw
Anaconda.
someone yesterday was watching that in front of me.
And when someone was watching it in front of you, were you like, I think I get it?
Well, this is what killed me. More than one person was watching the that Will Arnett movie. Is this thing on?
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there on a plane watching multiple people watching it. I'm like, hey man, I'm on a plane. Why do I have to see who's getting booked at the cellar when I'm not? I'm literally watching comics I'm jealous of performing at the cellar on a
I
fucking plane.
I hear you,
Come
dude.
on, man. I can't.
I
The comedy booms means you cannot escape the success of your peers or
Yep.
betters.
All around me, I saw yes, that movie played a ton. I saw
Ugh.
Anaconda.
Yeah, apparently this thing on is like the ultimate plane movie.
It's
So is
yeah,
Anaconda.
it's
Yeah,
it's catching. It's
yeah,
catching on planes because I agree it was all around me, but I also can't tell if I'm just more sensitive to it.
yeah. You're like Chloe Radcliffe.
Yeah, Chloe Radcliffe's. I'm like, are you kidding me? And
Yeah.
then I look at John Lasseter.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but then but then I watched Anaconda.
Mhm.
Good,
Good.
good. You
Comedy's
put,
back, baby.
I'll tell
Comedy
you what,
movies coming back.
you put Paul Rudd and Jack Black in front of my eyeballs. I'm gonna have a good time every time. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's a press tour. Doesn't matter if it's a movie. You put those two in front of my eyeballs, I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah. Any classic movies?
I watched Inception for the 2 millionth time.
Great.
Two
Great.
millionth time.
You ever
Holds
watch
up.
the YouTube analysis of it? The guy who does a lecture on it?
No. Is it awesome?
It's incredible because the movie is so much more. I thought I got in the movie the first time, but it's so much more thoughtful. The crux of it being the totems, his totem is reversed. Every other totem works odd in real life and normal in the dream. He's the only person whose totem works differently, oddly in the dream, which means
Mm.
anyone can fake him into thinking it's real life. Basically, what they say is it doesn't matter whether it's real or not. He set himself up to be deceived. He
Yes.
created yes.
They do a very good job in the movie because at some point, they say something where it's like because he has all these rules,
Mhm.
and then
He breaks
at
them.
some point they're like, yeah, he breaks all of his own rules.
He's basically saying lie to me the whole time. He's just
Yes.
creating all of the, and it's so obvious when you see the analysis. I'll send you it, but it's like a 20-minute lecture from like the early days of viral YouTube where you're like, how does this have so many views? It's just a guy talking, bad lighting in a classroom. Incredible. One of
It
my favorite
holds
videos
up.
on YouTube.
I Yeah, I saw that one for the 2 millionth time. Saw the second Wicked finally.
Okay. Wicked.
Uh
Yeah.
saw and then good.
Good.
I felt people really because the first one was incredible, and then
Hmm.
people really poo-pooed the second one. So I went
Hmm.
into it, I think, with a here comes the negative attitude. Left me in, hey, we had a great time.
Have
Don't know what
fun.
the issue was. I thought they did the best they could. Act two of every musical is gonna be tough. I
Yeah.
thought they actually swung it up pretty good.
Okay.
Uh did I watch anything else? I watched so many things. I watched so many things, and I'm
Were you,
so awake.
were you locked in for it? Like, were you on your phone or were you actually watching?
No, I mean, I had my computer out because I was working.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, I was locked in for all these movies. I was pretty locked
That's
in.
awesome. That's
Yeah, no,
awesome.
I watched some movies, and then I landed, and it's still Monday morning, and it's still Monday morning for me,
That's
and it's
great.
been Monday morning, and it'll
15
never
hours later for
not be
Monday morning.
Monday morning. The rest of my life is Monday morning, is what I believe. I've
What
been
a what
Monday
a
morning.
yeah. Maroon 5 ain't writing songs about Monday morning. It's
Yeah,
the I would say the least romantic segment of the week.
yeah.
Hmm.
But that was it. But Sydney, awesome. Now we're back, and we're gonna figure it out for the next couple days.
Yep.
It's one of those where you're like, I guess for the next couple days we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you rolled out of bed for me or whatever you did.
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you adapt to the time zone there?
Right at
Did you
the
have
end, of
to
course. Right at the end.
right at the end?
Tried not to. Then right at the end, I said, I get it. Fully adjusted, and then whoops,
That happened to
everything.
me a little bit this weekend where I was up late in Austin and then up very late in Irvine. So I was going to sleep at 3 a.m. my time and
Mm-hmm.
exhausted and just crashing really hard and trying to sleep in. And then I get home last night and it's like 1:30 and I'm like, not that tired.
Yep. It gets you. It
Yeah.
gets you so bad. It's so tough.
It's
It's
so
so
tough.
hard. The
Yeah.
time thing is a challenge. Um, the time thing's a challenge.
That's
And
why so
then,
many like movie stars and musicians, when you hear they're addicted to drugs and OD, I'm like, they have to be so on and then so off at such
yep,
odd intervals that I can understand the temptation to just medicate all
yep,
of those highs and lows artificially.
yep. No, I
It's
know.
so smart.
I say I get it. I get all the things. I get all the temptations. But that's
I
also
listen
me.
to
We've talked about this pod before, and we'll say it again. Danny Jollis, so close to getting addicted to so many things.
really
I love a vice.
drinking, gambling. What else?
Drinking, gambling. I did the weed for a hot second. Um, golf, poker, uh, which I guess goes under gambling, but but both the sports the other day. I mean, it's really like, I mean, you really, particularly like, it's why I feel so much for young men in this country right now because I'm like, I feel the sirens call they're getting
Yes,
for
yes.
those things, and I'm an adult.
I think about I mean, I've ranted already about how bad nicotine and gambling is. I've been talking about it on stage for young men and how they're purposefully de-educating us to make us more
Mhm.
susceptible to this kind of fleecing that all of these I mean, on the financial side, it's you're getting harvested. That's the term in poker. If a noob comes in with a
Mhm.
lot of money, they're gonna pass him around until he's got nothing left. They're gonna extract him, and they're doing the same thing where all these people think they're winning in the stock market, and it's like, no, you maybe you're going up with the stock market, but you're going to be a little less than the market. And where is the less than? It's since the institutional investors are the ones who are like gaming you for slightly higher gains on the market and there are their trading methods.
And that's someone who's doing it right. That's not talking about the people who are options. Did you see, not to get all, but it's not political because this is just a decision. Did you see that now you can options trade with less than 25,000, or you can day trade with less than 25,000? One of the two got passed.
Options.
And
You can day
options.
trade with any amount of money.
Yes.
Options is terrifying.
You
I
can
always talk about
options now with
finance being remarkably easy math.
Mhm.
Not options. Options is a differential equation. It's Black Scholes. That's gnarly high level math. If you think you can just kind of guesstimate, no, that's such bad things. That's so bad. I
They
don't
just
touch. You know how much I love math. I wouldn't. I'm like, let the experts fuck with options. That's dangerous. It's bets on bets on bets.
yes.
Yes.
They just changed it. That's gonna get so many people, and it's an exponential loss. You can exponential loss with options in a way that like stock market, it's like, you know, I mean, it can go down quite dramatically,
Hmm.
but like it
Well,
can't go. You
shorting,
can't.
you can only lose as much as the stock is worth. Versus shorting, you can lose. There's no ceiling.
It's exponential. I mean,
Yeah.
you can lose so much. It's so terrifying. I can't believe they changed that.
Yeah. 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 Anyway, I think about young men looking up to having bad role models, and I was thinking I would have been very susceptible at that age. There were just no toxic men to admire. You know who I looked up to?
Hmm.
I looked up to John Mayer and Ryan Lochte. That was my Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Thank God there weren't worse role models, because you're kind of just looking for a bad guy. When you're a
Yeah.
young man, you're weak, you have no value,
Hmm.
and you look for these men who you think are symbols of strength, who say it like it is and ain't afraid of what nobody thinks, and you think that's some form of manliness. And this, I don't judge it too harshly. I think most men go through that phase,
Hmm.
and you grow out of it, and you learn what real strength is. It's not cruelty; it's compassion.
There's something about like because I'm trying to think of like the role models I had as a kid that were bad, but they all had like I'm trying to think of like athletes, right? Who like weren't particularly great humans.
Uh huh.
Um,
Ryan Lochte. He wasn't. He's not a bad guy, but
yeah, but but you know, made a mistake certainly.
hmm
Um, and like you know, other like I want to call it one out, but like basketball players, football players, players that you know, people who just like made huge mistakes, but also were people I like looked up to,
hmm
and but at least they like accomplished something.
yes. Oh
You
wow.
know,
Yeah.
they got really good at something. So at least there was that baseline of like, hey, if
hmm
I work hard, I can get to this place and then hopefully I don't make these mistakes. Or well, they're doing this too. Maybe it's work, but they are professional athletes. Like these guys, they're just famous for being dudes.
Yes. Well, it's packaging and marketing. They've found a way to shape their image to make them look like they've gathered the spoils of great accomplishments and
Yeah.
victories, with none of the achievements.
Yes.
The cars, the women, the clothes, all of that, and they've kind of, now with more packaging, it's just uh
If you
it's
could,
a show, it's a
yes,
presentation,
it's all, it's all a production. I mean,
which
if
is
you, I'm
culture we're
trying to think
living
of I'm trying to think of like if a young man were to listen to this, what
in.
would
Mhm.
you say to them? Like as just like
They're probably weird if
because
they're listening to this. I don't think of this as for being young. Focus. The most important thing you can do is focus on the needs of others. As much as you think it's admirable to be self-involved and constantly achieving your own glory, what really makes you, I think, cool and move forward in this world is considering others, um, thinking about other people, and obviously work hard at whatever your craft is. Work hard at school or your sport or chess. Find a passion.
that would be
People are
mine.
going to love a
Yep.
passion, especially if you're trying to find women. They're going to love when you have something you want more than just pussy or finding a girlfriend.
Yes.
Um,
There's nothing. I mean, if I were to give advice to like, particularly the guys who are like, these guys are getting women, I want to get women, I'd be like, the best way to get women is
mhm.
to not focus on getting women.
And be a compassionate individual. Yes,
Be a
both. I
compassionate
think you need
individual,
both.
but also like
Yes,
be good at something.
be good at something.
Be good at something. Because that's because then when they meet you, you're if you're good at getting women, there is an initial, oh, they're good at getting women. You if you're good at something, it all kind of takes care of itself from there. Then you have to
It
open
does.
yourself up. And I do think
Mhm,
that's a very scary thing. And I think that's like a separate, you gotta do that. But like
mhm.
don't definitely don't make your purpose around getting women.
Yeah, that
That's
does not go well.
that does not go well.
No, no. And
Never.
also, my other advice to you is the stuff rappers are claiming about their success with women. That's only their account of it. That is not. I looked up to a lot of rappers, like, oh man, those guys were not getting laid the way they say they were. You get like Chingy. I like what's the line from Chingy? it's just it sounds like a gay guy doing an impression of a straight guy. Like, I get so much pussy. I love pussy all over my face.
Yes.
Like, has this guy ever?
Do you ever have those like friends? I had friend. There was a couple people like throughout my life who I've been
I
like
was probably
around.
that. I was so focused on women before the achievement that would get me um interest from
Yeah.
women, but
I mean, I do you ever have like those guy friends though who are like it's such a performance how attracted they are to women. It's so performative where they'd be like I just remember like every now and then there'd be these dudes in my life who'd just be like, dude, did you see that? Like, and I just would be like,
oh,
we all saw it. Relax. Like,
yeah.
what, what are you doing?
Dude, there's a comic I will not name. We were
Yeah.
at the cellar and a girl with a very nice ass walked by, and I go, damn. And I look at him to like, that's the most I'll give it sometimes. Like, damn. And I look at him, he goes, bro, you cheat too? And I go, no, no, I'm just admiring that woman's ass. But he, like, his reaction was like, we had the same birthday. It's like, comics are dogs, dude. Men are
some,
dogs, I guess.
yeah, it's tough. But those, like, yeah, I'm always like, every now and then I remember there just be guys I'd be around, they just, a girl, they just start talking, like, so performative, just like, did you see? And I'll just be
Were
like,
those the
what
same
are
guys who
you?
brag about all the sex they had? Because I find that such a worst
Oh,
problem
so weird.
and something I did in college too.
I
So
don't.
so unappealing.
I think I don't know if I ever brag. I definitely was like excited because it took me so long for a girl to look in my direction.
Mm-hmm.
I was obviously very excited when things started to happen because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Can you believe
Mm-hmm.
of all the people?" But I don't know if I ever got into nitty gritty. I never felt confident enough about anything I ever did in the bedroom to ever every time I'd be like, I think the biggest I had was like, think I think it went good. I think I nailed it.
Oh, backtracking a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, the passion thing. This is gonna sound red pilly, but women love when you have a passion and then they want to get in there and get between you and the passion.
I think
Nothing
that's
that women love more than the thing you did to attractive being like, well, do you love that more than me? It's like, well, it was the thing that got you. So it's I'm in a bit
yes.
of a bind here.
And by the way, both ways. Both ways there. I think both ways. I mean, the amount of guys who like date a woman and then they're like trying to stop and it's like, no, that's her thing. That's the whole thing she
Yeah.
likes. Like it is
And
this
it's why you're
weird
attracted to her.
it is this weird instinct, right? Where it's like people who particularly are good at something because the problem is when you get behind closed doors of anybody who's good at anything,
Mm-hmm.
they work harder than you think. Minus actors. Some of them. Some actors
Really?
I am endlessly impressed by how little they're putting in. But those are but for the most part
They
I'm
they
like
put in a lot to get there. They did,
they
even if they
do.
aren't putting the work on camera, they did the schmoozing and the networking and the classes and endless hours of all the things that didn't pay off for
Sure.
the ones that did.
But it's like anybody who's good at anything, when you get behind closed doors, it's like, oh,
Not
because they work at it a lot.
who was it? Was it? No, I don't know if it was Aristotle, but if you saw the work put in, you would not be impressed at all.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I don't know who
I'm phrasing it poorly, but I think about it all the time. It would seem like no miracle if you saw how much effort it actually took.
it's very disappointing. If you saw how hard you and I work on jokes, you would be like,
That-
you'd
yeah,
really think they'd be better.
yeah. Oh, that's all you have to show for it. Okay,
Wow.
it's
You wrote
50 minutes of content every 3 years.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
years.
God.
Wow. You're like, yeah, it's all I think about is that 50 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know if men are becoming more nuanced in their attraction, or we're just sexualizing more women. But the breadth of taste we now have in women is starting to impress me. Um, the amount where like we see WNBA players and we're like total babe, just be and because they're attractive, they're obviously very attractive, but and not and not in the very myopic way. We used to have like one standard of beauty. Growing up, you and I, we had one standard of beauty, and everything
Yes.
else was, if it wasn't kind of Victoria's Secret, it was off kilter. But you have WNBA players, and then like I saw like a post of Ilona Mayer doing like a
Uh,
bikini shoot, who is
yeah.
not a traditional looking woman in any respect. She has mountains of muscles she's worked hard for. She has a fascinating facial structure,
Professional athlete in
professional athlete,
professional
and
athlete in the
she's
sport where
attractive in her own way, and then all of that is reflective of her incredible abilities as an
Mhm.
athlete. And it was on Reddit, and the comment section was guys just like would I would. And I feel like that's a newer thing. I don't know if that's just us being creepier to a broader scope of women,
I
but
know, right? It's like, is this good or bad? But I think good.
I
I
think
think good.
good.
I think good.
I think it's good that we're attracted to women for more than just their baseline.
Yes. And
Uh
just that we're opening up like
huh.
what it, yeah, like all that stuff. Because again, and I have the joke about this thing, but I'm always like, the thing about attractiveness is it's a volatile market.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
looks are volatile. Your
Yeah.
attractiveness is volatile.
Mm-hmm.
Like you I think are somebody who has maintained a very high level of attractiveness, but even you
Oh, you mean
fluctuate
individually?
individually.
Oh, I thought you meant what society's tastes
No, I mean
specify,
like
which that's also volatile, by the way.
totally, very much so. But I mean
Right.
like, when people are like, dude, she's a total babe, like in like, particularly when people start talking about marriage, and I'm like, hey, like you're gonna change. You're gonna have years where you're killing it body wise, and you're gonna
Yeah.
have years where you're not, and they're gonna have years where they're killing it, and they have years where they're not, and it's like that. You got to get over the like I can only be with like a very specific type person because it's like, hey, maybe but like at some point it's gonna fluctuate. You're gonna fluctuate too. We all fluctuate. You're gonna get injured at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, you're gonna get injured. You can't go forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And also just like what a few lines or just a little bit of flab in a face will change you
Hmm.
from like you walk in a room and everyone looks at you to people forget your face as soon as they look away from it. It's yeah, it's tricky. I mean, yeah. I mean the amount of comics I had a rant about this with uh Reina and male comics who are good looking and don't invest in their looks. It makes me so angry. Where it's a guy who's naturally handsome, that's so part of the appeal. There's so
Hmm.
much. If you're a good stand-up and you're an attractive looking guy, like a decent, like you could be like an actor handsome, and you're not working out. Like I see guys who gain weight, they don't work out, they drink, they smoke cigarettes, and I'm like, this is already hard enough. It's so hard to make a living in comedy right now. Use every advantage you can. I met Ralphie May sitting outside on a park bench in Montreal 2015. And I walked up and said, "Hey, Ralphie, sorry to bother you. I came up under a guy who I know was a father figure to you, Danny Martinez, at the comedy showcase in Houston, Texas." And he was like, "Yeah, that guy's as good as my dad. What do you need, man? If you're family to me." And we had a great conversation. And he told me right there, he goes, he never having seen my comedy, he goes, every day you need to do 500 push-ups, 500 squats, 500 sit-ups. You need to start dressing well. You need to lean into whatever this thing is you have. And I laughed it off at the time.
Yeah.
But he was like, if you're going to be a type, be that type. For him, that was the other direction. But looking back, it was great advice. He was like, wear a leather jacket to auditions, hit on the casting directors.
Yeah.
Like, comics are going to resent it, but whatever you need to do. And I think a lot
Isn't
about how Rocky Dale and I think Matt Rife worked with him as well. And I'm like, oh, those guys took the advice. They leaned into it and it paid off for them.
I mean, it's fun. It's so funny because you get so much bad advice early, but then every now
Uh-huh.
and then you do think about one. And you're like, man, good piece of advice.
And yeah, it's crazy he saw that. It's crazy from his quite far away vantage point,
Yes.
understood the the value of having a type and being strongly that type.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I want to say I have a story, but I want to get the guy's name right.
I have a story if you want me to go first.
Yeah, go.
Uh, I was at the airport last week on my way to Moon Tower, and there happened to be a lot of comics on the flight. So in the terminal, I was sitting around with Katie Boyle, John Rudnitsky, and Mike Feeney, just
Great group.
excitedly chatting. And we're
Mhm.
starting to get on the plane, and a girl timidly walks up to me in front of them and goes, "Hi, I'm sorry. And I go, yeah. She goes, "Are you on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?" And I was like, "Oh, no. No, that's Paul Wells." She was like, "Oh yeah, I thought you were Paul. I thought you were him. You look so much like him." Okay, sorry, never mind. And
That's
for a second, I thought I was
so
so cool being recognized in front of other comedians, but I got
that's so funny.
anti-recognized. Like I
That's
would have looked cooler had she said nothing.
it's also so funny that that's mine.
Yeah, to
And
your
you
credit, Danny is on Crazy, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"No, but my
that's
best friend's on it." She
of
was like, "Yeah, okay,"
of
and like
all
walked
the
away.
shows. That's so funny.
Of all the shows,
Of all the
Paul,
shows.
Paul and I do look alike. Not like we're very similar types. You wouldn't mistake us.
I mean, I will say, you know, get recognized on occasion, but every now and then you get recognized. You're like perfect. The We paid to take a photo with a koala, as you simply must when you go to Australia. And the zookeeper, the only person in Australia who at least recognized me as that was this zookeeper with the koala. Chloe was her name. Awesome,
Sick.
awesome lady. And she
Sick.
was like, and we got so much time with this koala.
Mm.
It was like the perfect person to recognize. It was like you dream of if anybody's gonna recognize me, let me be the person who has the most power as far as what I'm trying to get out of this trip. Give me the koala. Oh, it was incredible.
That is a very powerful person. I
Oh my god.
choose who touches the koala.
And you're not allowed to touch a koala.
No. Okay.
Hard and fast rule in Australia because Jess loves to touch animals.
Yeah, Laura's the same way. She touched an
Jess
armadillo on her wedding day. Those things have leprosy. She just touched it.
and then touched you. And
And
then
then shook everyone's hand.
and
She
then
shook
yeah,
150 people's hand.
she took my hand. I was there.
You know how Jesus cured leprosy? Laura's the Antichrist. She gave everyone leprosy at her own wedding.
Jess, Jess actually, because since I started dating Jess, Jess loves going up to animals,
Mm-hmm.
and like in a way where they're like we went like when we were in Barbados, there's like this like monkey place you can go to, and it says like do not touch the monkeys. Jess is touching the monkeys. She couldn't, and like the biggest one, they're like because it isn't like a hard rule. It's just like we prefer if you don't because it's dangerous, and they're in particular like be careful with the baby monkeys because the
Oh,
mom
yeah.
monkey's watching. She's going up to these babies. And I'm like, Jess, please. Jess, please. Jess, like, please. Please don't touch Jess, please. I'm just like in the background of like videos because she's like, take a video. But then I'm like in the background, you just hear me being like, Jess, please. Jess, please. Because I can see the mom monkey like look, like starting to move towards her. Jess is fearless when it comes to that. And then she did a trip without me. And she said it was like a very illuminating thing. But like, she was like, this the someone on the trip kept being like Jess please like they kept having to do it as a group because she was like wow I guess I always thought Danny was just like a sourpuss but it turns out I do get dangerously close to animals
Yeah. Isn't
and I was
it
like
so
yeah
fun seeing
you do
women's behavior and thinking what that would be like as a man?
well I mean
Like
you gotta
that
think yeah you
that at a
gotta think
strip club. It would be like, we're all getting kicked out.
totally. But then there are guys like that. It's like we all have our like things, but it's one of hers and it's such an innocent one. She just likes touching animals. But it is a thing where you're like, please don't get killed by a mom monkey for the love of God. And then yeah. But no, koalas you can't touch. And it was a thing because Jess was like, they were like, you can't touch the koala. And Jess was like, can I touch? You know, they're like, but can I? And they were like, no. Chloe was a very good zoo. She was like, it is a crime to touch the koala. Do not, you will not. She's like, I barely touch the koala. They do not like being touched. do not touch the koala. And just was like, but it was like, I was appreciative of how hard they were like, you will not touch this koala. But we got good picks with the koala. Good
That's
picks
awesome.
with the koala. It was very exciting. Um, wait, okay, so I have a story. A tale.
Okay.
A tale of uh I did I did a show. I shouldn't have said yes to this show. It was a mistake.
Mhm.
Um, it was like paid just enough that I was like, let's do it. But it was I shouldn't have. It was about 2.5 hours outside of LA on a Saturday, and it was like
That's a road gig. That's a long both ways. Even coming back, it was that far.
maybe two coming back, but long drive,
Yeah.
full drive. Um,
How much to
and
pay?
it's what?
How much did it pay?
I'm not gonna say a number,
Oh, good.
but
Good
not
enough for 5 hours of driving.
no.
Okay.
Shouldn't have done
Hmm.
it. Shouldn't have done it. It was in a like 55 and up community. They didn't have a spotlight, just light on half the room. Just kind of thing. I'm like, we don't need to be doing this anymore.
Hmm.
We don't need to be putting ourselves in these environments.
Hmm.
You know, I could have made a little bit less and stayed in LA and done better spots that are more. I just was mad at myself. I was mad I was there. And it was me and this other comic, this guy Kevin Flynn, who I didn't know. Uh, Older comic, generation above us. And we're there, and we're both kind of like, oh, yes. And it like no spotlight, lights just on half the room. Got Kevin Flynn, but he's so nice to talk to. He goes on this stage. This guy, I just hadn't heard of him before. I've never heard of him, and just watched being like, what a pro. Just a guy who I was like, man, what a pro who I just didn't know existed until today.
Yep.
It was just such a pleasure watching that. Like
Yep.
just someone who you're like, wow, you've been, and he's probably made a good. I looked him up afterwards. He's like no, he's had a good career. I think he's friends with a lot of huge that generation comics.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm
That might.
sure they're like, oh, he's just one of the ones who just like didn't hit how we hit, but he's made a good career. But like, man, it was just like so cool. Every now and then when you're like, wow, just a pro.
Is that? I mean, I spent Moon Tower co-headlining with Jackie Cation. So you want to talk about just a pro, 40
Yeah.
years in the game, and
Yep.
like just knows exactly what she's doing, um, and so sophisticated. No cheap tricks. Just strong point of view, authentic
Strong
stories,
point of
rants,
view.
whatever. Very like got the crowd.
Yes, I mean
Hard to follow.
she's oh, I I can't imagine follow. I mean, I can because I've had to, she's in LA,
Hmm.
so I have to follow Jackie all the time, and every time it's like, is there anybody faster at getting who she is across to a crowd quicker than Jackie?
Yeah. And she's leaning heavy political up top now. And I'm like, are you political? She was like, right now, how can you not be? How can you not? It's the top of mind first thing for me all the time. So it's the first thing I address on stage. And I was like, do you do
So
that? Do you ever switch for different crowds? She was like, no, I'm giving them what I'm giving them.
it's awesome.
That's
It's
awesome.
awesome.
I
I'm so
so lightly into politics and my point, like my actual
same.
point of view.
Well, and I defend where I'm at politically on stage right now, although I'm flirting at it more with, but like a part of me is like, I don't think I'm changing. I don't think me saying anything immediately changes anybody's mind. If I talk about it, I'm just very in a we got to unify. I can't just shit on current situation forever. Like I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done it. I've done
Yeah.
it. It doesn't seem to be working.
No. I made a moment of peace this weekend where, people will shame you. I was thinking about Sydney Sweeney and people like shaming her for her family wearing MAGA hats.
Hmm.
And I thought Trump has taken away so much from all of us. He's ruined the economy. He's created this toxic discourse and sowed hate and division everywhere and just made life kind of miserable all around. Why would I let him take away my friends also? If my friends disagree
That's a
with me, I'm like,
beautiful thought.
he's not going to have that. I'm going to keep them. I like them.
Yeah.
I can, whatever. Like, hopefully I can convince them to vote differently in the future, or see how they're maybe being misled by their media. But
Mhm.
I'm not gonna drop anyone. That feels like I'm taking the punishment and they're taking the punishment for this other guy out there who's doing all the bad. That doesn't hurt
Yeah,
Trump.
it's so hard. It's such a hard time to like. I don't know. Everything feels so. Yeah, I agree that like it is like I certainly don't want to cut anyone out. I want to talk to people. I want to keep us all talking. I like, at least right now. It's like, because again, we've done the other version. I think for the past decade, both sides have done the you voted this way, you're a moron. And it's like we've done it for a decade, doesn't seem to be getting better that way. So why don't
Yeah,
let's all just shift our view. Let's all try a different thing. We've done it. We keep doing that. We've been doing it for a decade now. The thing has been, you don't vote the way I vote. I hate you. Get off my lawn.
yeah.
And
I
it's
saw.
like,
Yeah, I
yeah, and
saw
it's like,
a man.
can we change that? Go.
I saw a man in a shirt at the Irvine Spectrum that said, "If you voted Democrat, you owe me gas money." And it's, buddy, not not great time for that shirt for you, unless that is a like an ironic shirt that is you're
So funny to put that on right now.
right now.
So
I'm
funny to
like,
put that on right now.
now here's the other part of it. He was paraplegic or worse. He was in a motorized chair. So putting on that shirt took some effort.
Took
I
some
don't
effort.
know if
Now,
that was why he put it on. Was like, he put it on, looked in the mirror, was like, shit. Well, I don't have another 12 minutes. Or he like really meant it. I'm
I mean,
making jokes at the expense of someone's disabilities, but it factors into this decision.
it is definitely a boy. Like, it just is it like, because you got to know, like, hey, there's moments. There's moments where if you vote for somebody where they're crushing it and you get your shirt, and there's times where you're like gonna lay low for a couple months until things pop back up, right? We believe in what we believe, so it'll come back. But boy, right now is that's a
Great.
tough time to be on a gas price movement.
Mm-hmm. Of all the
Oh,
things to chirp about, that one
yeah,
did not age well.
boy.
Uh, Danny, where are you going to be?
Thanks for asking, Matthew. Well, I was on you can watch Imperfect Women now that we know we did make it. We made it. So cool to be a part of that show. Go watch that. You can see me at Lexington, Kentucky, Brea, California, San Francisco, Pittsburgh, LA, a bunch. So much LA. Can't stress how much LA I'm about to do. The most LA. Really locked in on LA. Um, and just listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
Keep
listen to the
listening.
podcast.
Yeah, keep going. What about you?
DC, Boston, and then I'm taking a couple months off, and then in the fall I am truly everywhere: Texas, Arizona, Louisiana, South Carolina, Chicago area, Pittsburgh, Portland, Atlanta, all of it, Dallas. Go check my website, brucesr.live. Sign up for the guest list.
Love a Chicago area. Love doing it when you're in a city, but you're like, area.
Well, we had to convince the club that it was a separate market because I already did Chicago. So hoping it's not Chicago, West Chicago suburbs.
Chicago suburbs. Go see them. Go see them. Go see some stand up. Bye.